only 6 out of 600, over 600 videos made it through. So you guys, it was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the judges watched the six videos, and they thought yours was beautifully filmed. They thought it was beautifully written. It was really personal, which made it really unique, and the judges absolutely loved it. In fact, they loved it so much that you are our grand prize.
Yo! No, Jenny! No, they got a hose right. Oh my God! Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hardy. Oh my God. Thank you guys. Thank you. You guys are the true MVPs.
I don't know, the whole, from the process of filming it and then just submitting it, like we weren't even aware of the contest till our history teacher had made us aware of it. So just the thought of, like, you know, in the last few months.
When we shot that opening sequence, right, with all the photos of the genocides, it was pretty much 11 degrees that day on a Saturday morning.
Yeah,
so we suffered through frozen hands with a dying camera battery trying to get these shots done. And you know, I'm very glad that we did. I'm very glad that you loved it all.
What I took from it was just a greater, more overall appreciation for everybody, because for the most part, like, I go about my day in school, and then, you know, people on their social medias, Twitter, Instagram, you know, sharing with one another, friends, and it's just mind-blowing to me, the thought that things like that can happen and so many of people's rights can be taken away like that, that it was, like, really touching, and not a lot of people are even aware of that, to even, you know, it's not even a second thought to them.
Since we did the topic of genocide, is that we knew, you know, in between us a number of genocides, like we knew the Holocaust, Rwanda, and Darfur, but we actually ended up studying more into previous genocides. Like, we learned about the Nanjing massacre, about the Cambodian genocide, the Armenian genocide. So we took a lot from that, like, informatively, from working on the project.
It's a beautiful piece, and I'm sure you know this, but your piece is going to be premiered at the Tribeca School.
Yes, that's
Not many people can say that.
That's the crazy part. Thank you.
It's the mind-blowing part. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
You're a rock star.
Man has always had a tendency to lean towards repetition, and we, for the most part, repeat the same acceptance. There have been nights that have been stained by the crying of angels, and days that have succumbed to the darkness of man. If we are bound by nature to repeat, then we will be bound by society to accept. If it is the will of one man to uphold a cycle, then it is the will of another to end it. Elie Wiesel was one of many individuals who witnessed the debasing of human nature. As a survivor of the Holocaust, he underwent the atrocities committed by the Nazi Party. For years, their actions remained without justice. For this reason, Wiesel dedicated his life to humanitarian efforts. Through political activism, he became a prominent and outspoken individual against the suffering of all people. Not only did he write many novels based upon his experiences, but he was also an advocate, protesting against the South African apartheid in the 1970s and delivering food to starving Cambodians in 1980. He later went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 1986 as a messenger to mankind. Today, many of us go about our lives forgetting that events such as the Holocaust and numerous other genocides have occurred only recently, as opposed to the span of human history. This is why Wiesel placed a tremendous importance upon the idea of resisting silence during times of human anguish, to not only recognize one's own ignorance, but also become active in the effort to confront global injustice. Genocide itself is an act that violates more than half of the articles set forth by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. These include the right to be born equal and free, the right to not be discriminated against, the right to not be subjected to slavery nor torture, the right to personal possessions, the right to marriage and family, and the freedom of thought and expression.
Genocide has to be one of the saddest events that can happen in human history. It's something much more sinister than just the attempt to kill an entire group of people. Let's take, for example, the Holocaust. When you hear a statistic like 6 million Jews were killed, it's hard to comprehend the idea that those were 6 million individual human beings with hopes, dreams, plans for the future, loved ones, children that never had the chance to grow up. it's ineffable, the thought. I can't even begin to imagine the feeling it must be to have your right to life completely taken away from you. To one day, live a happy, normal life, go to school, have coworkers, colleagues, and then the next day you're stripped of all identity. You're not a person anymore. You're just another thing to them.
Unfortunately, genocide is still an entity that remains prevalent, pulsating within the veins of human immorality. Most of us have come to overlook the oppressions of North Korea, and we have come to forget the massacres of Darfur. And with each passing day, we are bound to repeat the same behaviors with Yemen and Syria. Weasel's life has taught us that there is much human suffering that goes unnoticed. It is therefore imperative that we aspire to Weasel's call to humanity, that we do not succumb to ignorance, that we edify the past in order to construct the future.